Would you like to turn the steel path into the normal star chart? Do old mechanics that nobody cares about intrigue you? And are you a fan of snipers? Well, with this episode of Dumb Builds, you can enjoy all of that and much more. But the initial question is how? The gas status effect is often overlooked by players for a lot of reasons. Unlike other statuses, it can't be infinitely stacked. Gas procs take away the priority for other important status effects, and it usually doesn't work on high fire rate weapons, which is like all of them. So, how do you make something like gas not only viable, but so overpowered, steel path looks like a joke? Well, we need to look into a mechanic called status duration. It's the initial duration that your status proc will last on a target. This stat is often forgotten about due to it being useless on most status effects. While you can choose to make your slash or toxin procs last longer, mod slots are usually better spent on extra status, damage, or multi-shot. What makes gas so special though is that when it kills a target, the cloud will linger for the rest of the remaining duration. So that's going to be my angle here. We're going to start with the Warframe that can enhance gas's duration way longer than normal. That will be the Warframe Lavos with his Augment Valence Formation. Using this, he can deal 200% status damage on any of his weapons. What makes this so special is that ability duration affects the status duration on Lavos' abilities. So for a poor Lavos over here, we're going to jam as much duration into him as possible, using the mods Narrow-Minded, Constitution, Primed or Archon Continuity, and Augur Message. And for survival, I'm running both recharge mods with Adaption. Our arcanes will be Molt Efficiency and Arcane Concentration. And for our shards, we're gonna slap on 5 2 of Forged Red Archon shards for that extra duration. Finally, we reach the actual weapons that we're gonna be using. The Vectis, one of my personal favorite sniper rifles. It's a reliable addition that has a lot to offer with high damage and reload speed, but this build can be applied to any of the other snipers. This build will focus on crit using the mods Primary Acuity, Critical Delay, Vital Sense, and Galvanized Scope. Throw in Hunter Track and Continuous Misery to up the duration, and finally add Rifle Elementalist and Prime Chamber, and if you don't have these mods, you can use a Riven with duration to get even longer gas procs. And if you really want to max out your duration, try out the Grim War with Risk and Vacation. I know this was a lot of big words, but if you add everything together, you can have big gas procs that last up to 43 seconds. Pretty impressive considering we started at 6 seconds. With that out of the way, we can actually talk about gameplay. With your sniper rifle and a ridiculous amount of status duration, you can turn any tile set into an escape room. Since the sniper creates gas clouds that deal around 1 million damage, even steel path armored enemies like the Grineer will quickly vaporize. But now that enemy types won't be a general concern for the build, what game mode is the best for a build like this? The answer? Survival. The reason why this is the best game mode for the build is because you're the target. With this, you can reliably funnel enemies into areas like hallways or closed rooms. Once you shoot a single target, you can just watch your favorite show on your other monitor and wait for the acolyte to come dig in your butt.
What?
But wait, there's some minor frustrations you may encounter while using this build that I think are important to address. Starting with map dependency. Obviously, a single gas cloud can't shut down a whole area, so location and enemy type are going to make you the most successful, especially when selecting what area you want to farm on. Survivability. Since we need constant shield uptime to give Lavos the extra duration bonus, we really need recharge mods and adaptation to keep him alive. The downside of this is that Lavos is very susceptible to constant damage, so it's usually best to stay out of large areas while having alternative healing. But don't be scared of the downsides though, because you'll soon forget all about it once you're wiping acolytes off the face of the map. But there's something more important than performance. Fun factor. Gas is my favorite element here, so I'm a little biased. But either way, I'm gonna try to be impartial and list off the potential problems I may have with this build. Single player. While you can use this build in multiplayer, it's hard to farm kills consistently while other players draw enemy attention. Sniper scopes. While using a sniper is really fun, Warframe is a game that requires a lot of mobility. So if you're not fully braced for it, gameplay can get a little nauseating. Regardless of those challenges, I think that the utility and satisfaction that this build provides makes it all the more worth it. From getting massive loot pools after clouds expire to peeling Overguard in seconds, gas is a certified sleeper pick. Overall, I would 100% say that this is my favorite dumb build so far. While I love all my children equally, not you. The gameplay to fun ratio is a perfect 10 that I haven't gotten with any build so far. What I think makes this build truly special is the fact that anybody can pick it up and try it. If you don't like sniper rifles, switch to shotguns. If you want to maximize it, use a pet to prime enemies or use a good melee arcane to line up headshots. Given the build's versatility and tendency to allow players to become a war criminal, it earns that coveted S rank. If my video still hasn't convinced you and you disagree, feel free to drop your wrong opinions in the comments. Big shout out to my supporters. Without you, I wouldn't be able to sit in my basement and talk to my screen about Warframe.